Ahem. Ahem. Hey guys, it's the High Acidness here, and welcome back to another unboxing video where I spend the next 5 days in Pittsburgh for 5 days from the 7th to the 11th, and I can't make this video till now, so I'm back. Thank God. It's been, let's say, 5 days since I've been gone for God knows what. I've been kind of be away on vacation for, I like to say, 5 days, and I didn't get back from the Airbnb until 4 o'clock p.m. But even by then, I could even do a unboxing video. I was kind of active on Instagram for a tight bit, and I'm still here making new videos. It's that said, I was pretty much away from Pennsylvania, and I didn't get back to New York State until, I don't know, maybe the 12th, which is the Monday to be exact. So I was on a show hiatus. I was pretty active on Instagram with October and Halloween, and I did say I was gonna make new gameplay videos, but after this I'm gonna do season 2 of Fall Guys, and I might as well showcase that for maybe 1 hour. But until then, we got an unboxing video to showcase, because we have done one for a while, and I got some stuff for 5.0 and got my product from Amazon. So why the hell not? Ah. Jesus. Alright, and then I'm back. This sneeze. So I got about, let's say, 4 products from Five Below that I to pick up from Pittsburgh. My Five Below, I got myself a tablet cramp stand. Now apparently this is supposed to be more beneficial because I need this for, let's say, better unboxing videos on the go. I won't be here in the house for God knows what, and I won't be able to usually come by. This is actually kind of useful because I need a stand for my TikTok videos, and this is supposed to be used for something else, but we won't know until we try. I'm kind of skeptic, but whatever. Beyond that, I just got 2 amiibos from Splatoon 2. I got both the Igni sets. I didn't really get it on Amazon, but I just got these 2 from here, and apparently you can get yourself an extra outfit. I play Splatoon 2, and it's not that it's not that simple, but you see this amiibo before, but yeah. And I got a Fruits Cube. It's a feature cube you actually get from Amazon and Target. It's like this, but with some amount of differences, but you know, it's just the same, but the major difference so far is that you get something on your from the spikes, which I will show you differently. For now, let's actually stop bullshitting and actually do an unboxing video and try to usually open this up. I don't know what's the side effect, but let's just try. So this is the Drax table crab stand. Oh, I also forgot. I also got the deluxe crocodile full bottle crack. Or crocodile crack. I can't read Kaijin, but we do it later. So this is the Drax cramp stand for your iPad. It doesn't say which type was mostly compatible. I'm assuming it's actually adjustable, but whatever. So pretty much I got this for $5. I'm assuming that they will actually try to charge that retail price, but beyond that, let's try to usually get this open. I can't do this from the position, and I need to usually do it on the top down. So yeah, that's that simple. Whew. Alright. And presto. Yeah, sorry if the camera looks orientated. Kind of crappy, but it is what it is. So yeah, let's check this box. Honestly, the box design is kind of minimal. It's kind of basic. It's kind of subpar, to be honest. I don't really expect anything different for 5.0 besides the fact that it's also a generic tablet stand you actually can get for cheap. Of course, this may charge you $5 or $10 on Amazon or $20 on eBay, but you don't know. So for the most part, the packaging is kind of thin. Trying to open this is actually a pain in the ass. Maybe because the way they actually tape this packages is kind of too thin. I don't know the whole detail, but we might as well just open this. But I could not care if I break the box because they have a huge influx of these things everywhere at Amazon, and these are not that hard to find. And really try to open this is actually kind of not that simple. I only wish it was actually simple, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes I actually break it by mistake, but this box is actually so cheap that I could not care. And at this point, I might as well open this. And voila. So let's see what's inside. Jesus. So we got yourself a tablet stand. I really don't understand the whole criteria, but whatever. So you get the stand. You get this attachment. Whatever. And you also get the stand, which you actually need. Alright. So beyond that, when you actually get this package, it's actually kind of accessible. The way this usually works is beyond me, but I can't seem to get this off. It's actually kind of stiff, to say the least, because the way this actually works so far is that you have to actually tie this around. And there's no manual. There's no instruction manual, so you have to do this by yourself. Which is kind of odd, but maybe it's actually kind of loose. Yeah. So I had to assume that this is actually kind of different. So my guess so far is that the knob gives you the ability to tie it around. You pretty much twist this around if you want to adjust the size, and then you just turn it right to usually put it back in the same position. I wouldn't know. They don't usually tell you to this from the get-go, but I had to assume that this is actually kind of different. Now, if you notice from before, this is actually kind of stiff. You need to have to actually put a lot of strength. And the thing about this is that this one is actually kind of drawn. For something for $5, you can tell it has some issues with it. This thing is so drawn to the point where you need some upper body strength for this. Oh my god. Not to make TikTok videos, this is actually kind of difficult to maneuver. Jesus. Yeah, so apparently, besides being cheap, the strength and the pressure of the handle is so strong. To adjust this, you have to put a lot of pressure and a lot of strength to order to move it around. There's no way you could use the adjust this without breaking it. And I will assume that even if you actually tie this, it's actually still a pain in the ass to usually tie. It's like, look how difficult it is to actually tie this. I don't know if it's actually maybe a defect, but I wouldn't know. So to put this around, you just have, so based on demonstration, the way this usually works so far is that you actually put it where you actually want to put it, and then you actually just tie in a knob. So you just usually tie it around and try to make it tight as much as possible, and then it will just actually do the job for you. And once you actually get that through, it actually will stay in place. And for something for $5, this thing has a strong grip. I'm not gonna lie to you, this thing has the most strong grip as much as possible. Trying to usually adjust this to your heart's desired, it's difficult because you could tell that this thing is so strong that they use some type of steel, a type of iron. And I can't get it to stay in the position, but you get the idea. Now on the package, it didn't really say what type of device is actually compatible. I have an iPad Air 2, and I can't tell if it's actually mostly compatible. I have to usually test this out, but judging by the fact is this thing is so stiff. I'm not going to usually lie to you, but this is actually stiff. I can already imagine trying to adjust the size and not be able to use the tightest. You have to put a lot of pressure and a lot of strength to usually get this wanted. I don't know why, but this thing is actually kind of stiff. And you can tell that even if you actually tighten it around, it's actually kind of loose. It's not that durable, but it does work. Now, beyond that, I have an iPad Air 2, Generation 2 to be exact, and I'm not sure how big it's gonna lead. It says it's actually size adjustable, but it sounds kind of vague. It didn't really say what size, so whatnot. So, as you might know, if you actually compare the size to this thing, my iPad is like this size. Now, according to a manual, you can try to use any size possible, but according to the box, it has an adjustable fit. The thing is, it didn't really say if this actually is suitable for the iPad Air. I checked the box for some apparent reason, and it never says anything about iPad Airs 2. So the thing I have to keep in mind about it is that this thing is actually kind of difficult. It's great for iPhones, but you could tell that this is actually complete bullshit. False advertisement. Because if you actually know the size so far, my iPad is like this size. It won't be able to usually fit it, and I guess you could say that I need to take off the cover, which is fine. Okay? So the whole issue with this is that if you ever, I guess that my fear is that if you have a protection case, you might need to take this off before you actually put this on, because it's not that compatible for any cases. It gets in the way to some extent, and after a while, it's not that usable. I have this case since God knows what, and I got it from Amazon for pretty cheap. So let's see how this usually works. So as you may know, this is the actual size of the iPad. Now I'm not sure how big it is, but I'm kind of skeptic that this thing is able to usually pick any size, because I think that this thing is like 12 inches tall, and it's not that much adjustable. I don't know if it's actually true, but if it's actually false advertisement, then shame on me for not doing my research. Okay. Well, I see why. So yeah, it does attach work, but I'm kind of skeptic that it might fall off. I don't know the repercussion, but yeah. So as you might know, it does affect fit. However, you can't put it in a horizontal. You have to put it in a vertical section. So the way this actually thing works so far is that you must have it in a horizontal position, then a vertical. The reason why, because this thing can only go to, let's say, 10 centimeters or 10 inches, 12 to be exact, and this thing only works so far. So let's see how it actually holds up in terms of weight. I'm kind of skeptic that this thing is able to usually hold an iPad this heavy. I don't buy the whole BS, but I'm kind of skeptic. But let's see how it actually works. So you guys actually attach this somehow. You can tell that this is actually kind of difficult. It's like, it's so stiff to the point where they don't actually play around. And apparently, you were supposed to usually keep this on, but I didn't know. I don't know the whole position, but kind of hard to see. Oh my god. So it does in fact work. There we go. And voila. I will now proceed with caution, because you just saw that this thing got sticked out. that means that it's not that stiff enough. Yeah, so as you might know, this thing is not that stiff. Because the rope is actually so stiff, you could try to usually use this for a TikTok video, but whatever. So as you might know, this thing does affect stick. This might be great for a TikTok video and you can actually put it horizontal, but as you might know, depending on how tight you actually get this far, this thing is not that usable. I will admit that this thing does affect work, but the lighting is so stiff, it's not that possible to keep it still, and it's a pain in the ass to keep it still. You'll be surprised how this thing gets taken off. And mind you, I have this thing so tight to the point. Maybe because I didn't have it tight enough, but I don't know. Also, it is kind of difficult to keep it in the same position because apparently with Five Below, they have this thing where a lot of these products don't really stick well, and this thing's kind of slippery. And the battery, no matter how much I actually put it, is too stiff. So yeah, judging by the evidence I see, it does hold it well, but the handle doesn't really stick well. And if you try to usually put this around, trying to bend it, it's actually more difficult. It's not that much perfect, but it does affect stick well. And consider the fact that the iPad is actually kind of heavy, it's really not simple. It's kind of wobbly and it doesn't really stay put, and you could tell that this is actually kind of cheap. And the fact that they usually put some pressure to change the handles is another thing. Although I will admit that it's actually kind of adjustable, it's not that much difficult to use, but try to usually pack this thing in a case, yeah. This thing is usually kind of great if you want to take this on the go and want to make a TikTok videos without interruption, but imagine trying to use this to some degree and not get yourself killed is not that much great. I will admit that this is the only case where it doesn't really suck, but it's too loose, it doesn't really stay well, and this is only a substitute. The fact that I have to put a lot of pressure into this tells me a lot of things. Now it's actually kind of easy to take off the iPad, believe it or not, but regardless, this thing is usually kind of stiff. The fact that I need to actually put a lot of pressure to just change the position tells me a lot. I don't understand why it has to be the case, but this thing is so cheap to the point where I can't even take it seriously. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. So yeah, this is the tablet stand. The cheap is too stiff and it's kind of hard to remove. You have to put a lot of pressure, so if you're kind of scrawny, if you're kind of weak physically, you're going to need a lot of pressure. They make this too stiff to the point, and I can't even say how. So with that out of the way, let's try another. Let's look at the amiibos first, because I can't even tell why. So the amiibos usually cost about $5 at my local Five Below from that state. There's nothing really special about these amiibos. You just get new costumes when you actually use the NFC chip. And he does usually get 2 gear. That's about it. There's nothing really special about the boxes. These are usually kind of hard to get on Amazon, but I guess this is usually kind of simple to get. This is the only time you don't even need scissors because these things are so easy to get. And I don't care much about the packaging or whatnot, but this is my first time I actually showcase an amiibo on the channel. I didn't really do it so far, but we manage what does usually showcase as much as possible. So if you want to know what amiibo looks like, it's just these things you actually could get, and beyond the visual part, the design and detail looks kind of great. It doesn't really look bad, and it actually looks great in the get-go. And it's not even that bad, to be honest. Most of these amiibos are kind of easy to get at Five Below. They have a huge stock of them around Walmart, and I'm not planning to have a huge amiibo collection. And I had to throw out the garbage if I had the chance, but Here we go. Beyond that, these things are actually kind of weird detail for an amiibo. I like the fact that you actually get something different, and these are usually not that bad. There's nothing really special about these amiibos besides the texture and the contrast. The models, you're kind of good. I like the poses. I like the fact they are rare, detailed. Now that's about it. It's just amiibos. Nothing else, but could be better. Another thing about the force cubes. Now I went to there was a Five Below in my area that has these, but they didn't have these cubes, and you could tell that these are kind of hard to find anywhere. You can get them from Amazon or eBay, but it's just gonna be one of those things. So, like I said before, besides fidget spinners, these things were already mass produced to the point. The thing about fidget cubes is that a lot of the cubes are so mass produced besides the fidget spinner, and you see a shit ton of these everywhere on Amazon and Target, even on Best Buy. These things were kind of common in the sense that you can find these anywhere from the retail chain. There's like a lot of third-party federations of these things. This is one of those examples I usually get. Now I like these fidget cubes because you can usually just bring it around. If you're bored as hell and you want to do something else, this is your best shot. Now this is one of those supposedly official version, and believe it or not, I already have one that I got from Target. Now the only makes a difference so far is that the size of the button is actually kind of big. You could tell that they actually increased the length and the size of the button by 1 inch, versus the other one that has a shorter one. Once you have to tell so far is that the buttons are usually either clickable, or in some cases the buttons will be stiff. There's really no difference between those two besides the length and the size, because this one has a gap in the center and this one doesn't. This one is actually kind of stiff and kind of, sturdy, and this one is actually kind of smooth and kind of less stiff. Now it's actually kind of cheap, and this one doesn't really have that much of a creak and a crack, but this one pretty much has a different mechanic. Now the mold may be kind of cheap because there's like a lot of cracks, and this might not hold up. I mean, mine has cracks too, but only because I usually drop it so much I didn't really care. You could tell that these things are 3D printed to the max. It's cheap as hell, but if you want to have a souvenir because you're bored as hell, go ahead. This thing costs about $5 or $5 Below, but I would imagine these things will usually cost you more than that. And really, these cubes are only meant to be accessory, to be novelty. It's nothing that special. It's just pure bullshit in a cube. But to be honest, it's one of those novelties items you can actually use so far if you actually are bored or have nothing better to do. But there's like a lot of knockoffs, a lot of imitators, a lot of variants. There's too many of these things floating around, and I don't even know where this came from, but you'd be surprised how long these things usually have. I mean, they look the same besides the button layout. Some will actually be clickable, some will actually be stiff, or some will actually be kind of hard to usually click about. So I wouldn't know. I never actually used this before, and my only best bet so far is that if I had to recommend something else, let's get both of them because they're the same. You just get different mechanics and whatnot. I will say that this one has a different maneuver, but I wouldn't be surprised. And that's about it. It's such cheap shit. Who knows? Now for the last product, because this is supposed to be a Satsu in-depth, but how to make a crossover video. The last one we have so far is the Deluxe Beer Crocodile Crack Full Bottle. You guessed it, we got another full bottle, but this is actually a different product. What makes this usually different than the other full bottle so far is that this one has a alligator tooth marking at the top of the box, and this one has a different size box we've seen so far. Unlike most full bottle packaging, you don't get 2 full bottles for this one, you just usually get 1. So what makes it really different so far is that this one can be used in an $8 driver. And the thing is about the full bottle is that this one, I got this before last month, but this got lost. And for 2 times I asked for a refund for a Super Sentai item. And beyond that, this one was kind of hard to get. It wasn't hard to find on Amazon, but it was usually hard to get because I had my packages lost 2 times. It comes to the point where I had to call customer service for a refund to make a claim. And after 4 months of trial and error, I got myself this full bottle. I like the design and the detail, but we might as well open this shit up and see. Now, as I said before, I don't have the scratch rifle or the WR gas gun, but this is usually compatible with the Beard rifle, and beyond that, it's the mental you can pretty much use this anywhere. So let's try to open this up and see what's inside this, because I waited too long for this to arrive, and we might as well see what's open. This was actually kind of hard to get in the sense that a lot of retailers didn't really have this, and because the series has ended, there was like a lot of markup, and because they don't reprint these anymore, I might as well try to open this with my best of my abilities. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So let's try to open this and see what's inside. And here we go. This is actually kind of it. So here it is. The Mario and the full bottle. I really hope this is actually kind of different, but here we go. Jesus. Okay, we got that out. Not that hard, not too shabby. So we did it. Whew. Now where to put this beyond me, but you get the idea. So, this is it. This is the deluxe crocodile full bottle set. This is usually kind of different in the sense that the material is actually kind of different. And there's no shaky feature into this. Now, as you might know, this is the only full bottle that uses a LO44 battery compartment. That's because this thing takes about 3 batteries, and you need the pen to usually extinguish it. Like the Gaia memories, you need to actually replace them before they actually get spoiled. And I would imagine these things will actually be hard to find. Now, what makes this usually different so far is that this one has a LCD screen on the front, has some lighting effects, and what makes this usually kind of different in the sense that this one has a feature where if you turn the tab to the center, it does usually play a sound effect. The design is actually kind of decent, and what makes this usually different than any full bottle in the past is that this one it's kind of longer and kind of lengthy. To make a comparison, it's actually kind of bigger in size. In terms of like the length, this one is actually kind of bigger in size in the sense that this one is actually kind of longer. The crack full bottle has a length where it actually increase it, and you could tell that this one is actually kind of tall compared to all the full bottles. That's because it had to put a lot of components into the lighting, and you could tell that it actually put a lot of effort with this one. It doesn't really shake. It has a speaker at the bottom, and you could tell that this thing is kind of high quality to be honest. Once you put this tab, it's gotta be more of a different experience. But who knows? And what happens if you actually turn the knob? Let's find out. What do you know? Here's what it is. So the way this usually works so far is that once you actually get this tab into the setup with the sticker, it will usually play 2 or 3 sound effects for each time you actually change it. And it has all the sound effects from the show to the point. And you can tell they actually put a lot of effort with this one, but it is what it is. And that's about it. You could turn this 3 times in a row, it makes no difference, and the only thing you can actually do so far is let's put it in travel. And I would have the limited steam gun or the scratch rifle, but I have the build rifle and it's actually kind of compatible. So who knows? It works so well, and why not? So let's see if this actually works with the build rifle, and I will see so far. Now, before I even start this video, I had to show you the actual listing. Now, as I said before I actually put my batteries to the build rifle, this one was actually kind of hard to find, to say the least. So before I even show you the bar in action, I want to show you the difficulty to try to get this. So this thing is actually kind of difficult to find anywhere else. Because the show has already ended, the way you actually get this is that... So the way you actually could get this so far is that you have to spend about $44. And depending on the user, you might spend about full price of that. Now the thing is about the full bottle is that this thing costs about maybe $2 something price. A lot of resellers want you to pay about full price over a full bottle, and that's because this one is actually a special form used by Rogue in, let's say, episode 30. And this one was kind of hard to find in the sense that you pretty much need to usually get this anywhere else. This thing costs about $44, and this one's usually sent about by another arc. And what makes this usually kind of special about it is that this full bottle was kind of hard to find. It's hard to find because since the store has ended, a lot of these are usually either auto print or kind of hard to find. And you couldn't get a duplicate if you want to. You have to get it from another seller, and a lot of times these sellers usually charge you more of the same retail price. So it's not that much of a simple cat and mouse ordeal. And it's difficult to get because you need to usually keep in mind that the full bottle usually costs about maybe $44 plus shipping, and usually gated discs usually cost about, let's say, more than $44. Now I got this maybe from, let's say, the 30th of September. I pushed it 2 times because the first order was kind of large. Amazon lost my package, and UPS lost my package like 2 times with Tokyo Salsa products. And what happened so far is that the product didn't really arrive at my doorstep because they sent it to the one carrier facility. Because of this, I was kind of frustrated, but I wasn't that much a full Karen. So for the most part, I kind of expected it was gonna happen anyway. How? I really didn't think too much about it. The only thing I did so far is that I actually bought it the second time, and I prayed that it didn't get lost. But judging by the video, I actually got it now. It was a pain in the ass to actually get it, but I got it. So let's showcase this to some degree, and let's see how this actually works. I don't know the whole detail, but I'm going to try. And here we go. And this is it. So besides that rave, let's showcase what would happen if you actually put the full body in. So if you actually put it in to some degree, you actually get a different sound, which is actually a sound point. Now, as I said before, the crocodile full bottle will actually be a default full bottle. And that's because it's got to be a default crocodile full bottle, but it never actually arrives. This is the crack variant, and this one only is usually accessible by that. Now, you can also use any other full bottle with a combination, but the one I actually use so far is the remote control. You notice that this one is actually kind of big in terms of size, and that's because this thing has a different innuendo. So, judging by the size so far, this one is actually kind of lengthy and kind of big, and this one is kind of short. Judging by the size comparison, it's kind of long. But when you actually crack the handle, the lighting around the crack full bottle will actually play a sound effect. And it would usually just play this type of sound effect to the point where it would just use it all the time. Now it doesn't have a shaking feature compared to other full bottles, but this one has a sound effect where you actually turn it up. And we actually turn it up 3 times. And I guess it's not that comparable. We don't hear the attack sound, but it's just the same way afterwards. It does the same thing as before, but it doesn't really get any different. And if you notice so far, it doesn't have a shake feature compared to all the full bottles. You could shake this, but you hear a sharp shake. Compared to this, you hear a rattle mechanic that you actually see so far in most full bottles, but this one doesn't have this same mechanic, and it doesn't really have it. Besides the thing has a top, it's actually kind of magnetic to the point, and you can tell that this one is kind of limited. In terms of actually design, this one has a decent design that you don't really see with other full bottles. The gold tip and the gold maneuver, it actually works well, but whatever. Beyond that, that's pretty much about it. Oh, that's about it. So, I don't have anything else to say. So, that's about it. Beyond that insert part, this full bar is actually kind of special because it's usually kind of transparent. And what makes this usually kind of decent is that it has a gold plating and it actually has a decent design. It's heavy because of the batteries, and you know, this one is actually kind of decent to the point where it doesn't really suck. But beyond that, that's about it. I don't really expect anything different with this unboxing video. I was gone for maybe 5 days, and I want to make an unboxing video before next week, because I had to usually get myself prepared and I need to send some photos to one of my department. So you can tell I'm actually kind of busy. But to recap, we got a stand that sucks, that's actually kind of stiff. We got 4 perks for fiber to open, such as the amiibos, and I got a lot of empty boxes I need to get rid of before tomorrow. And beyond that, that's about it. I don't have anything special to say so far. Really, I don't have anything special to say so far. It's really not much. There's really not much to say about it besides the fact that I'm actually on this scene. After getting this lost 2 times, I finally got it at beyond the initial part. I might usually get this beforehand. So who knows? Maybe I was actually kind of unfortunate, but not. But what are you gonna do about it? It is what it is. So I'm glad I actually got this by the mail, and I'm fortunate enough to actually get this without going insane. So who knows? That's like the 4th one in my collection, and I plan to get one. Hold on a sec. Whoops. Oh crap, I forgot to turn the audio because I have a phone call. Shit, I forgot to turn on. My bad. I forgot to turn on my mic. Yeah. Long story short, subscribe, leave a comment down below, turn on notifications, whatnot, turn on the notification bell, check your email for new video updates, make sure you guys don't miss an update much as possible, and make sure you guys have a decent ultimatum. This is a high acidness here. Signing off with a decent ultimatum. Well, tat, sign off. Hope you guys have a decent holiday. Goodbye. And I'm gonna exercise my ass off, lose some weight, and I hope you guys see you soon. You might need it, so do I. But that's all for now. Peace out, sayonara, and good night, and goodbye. You need it, and so do I.